Good morning students. This is a video for the students of class 8th, subject science. We were studying chapter number 18, that is pollution of air and water. This is your lecture number 5. In this lecture, we will discuss the NCERT questions. Now let's start with question number 1. What are the different ways in which water gets contaminated? Means by which ways water gets polluted. Means you have to write the ways by which water gets contaminated. So answer is water gets contaminated by the addition of, first way is agricultural chemicals. Agricultural chemicals means fertilizers and pesticides. It means farmers use pesticides and fertilizers to increase crop production. Means farmers use pesticides and fertilizers in their field to get a better yield of crop. But when these chemicals carried away to the water bodies due to rain and floods, means when these chemicals mix with the water bodies due to rain and floods or due to any other reason, then it pollutes the water. Means it leads to water pollution. That's why agricultural chemicals are the way by which water gets contaminated. Now second way is industrial waste. Means the waste that are released from industries. So industries release harmful chemical waste into water sources, means in river, lakes, ponds, and polluting them. That's why the waste that are released from industries are the cause of water pollution. So industrial waste is a way by which water gets contaminated. And the other way is sewage waste. Means the waste materials from kitchens, toilets, also responsible for polluting water. Means the waste that are released from our homes, like the waste released from kitchens, toilets, etc., also responsible for polluting water. So these are three ways by which water gets contaminated. Okay. Now second question is, at an individual level, how can you help reduce air pollution? Means how can you reduce air pollution? Okay. So answer is by the usage of public transport. Means if we use public transport instead of personal vehicles, then we can reduce air pollution. Okay. Second is by not using vehicles for short distances. Means if we use bicycle for short distance, then we can reduce air pollution, because the fuels which are used in vehicles produce smoke, okay, and pollute the air. That's why if we use bicycle for short distances, okay, then we can reduce air pollution. That's why we should not use vehicles for short distances. Third point is by using clean fuels like LPG and CNG. Okay, means if we use clean fuels LPG and CNG instead of petrol, diesel, then we can reduce air pollution, because LPG is a gas, or we can say LPG and CNG are alternative sources of energy. Okay, they do not produce pollution. So by using clean fuels, we can reduce air pollution. Next point is by disposing the garbage properly instead of burning. Means if we dispose the garbage, okay, then we can reduce air pollution, because if we burn this garbage, okay, then it will produce harmful gases. It means it pollute the air. That's why we should dispose the garbage instead of burning. And last point is by installing chimneys in the factories. Means if we install chimneys in the factories, then we can reduce air pollution. So these are some ways by which we can reduce air pollution. Now question number 3 is, clear transparent water is always fit for drinking? Comment. Means give your words on this statement. Means you have to give your opinion on this statement that transparent water is always fit for drinking. So answer is no. Clear and transparent water is not always fit for drinking. Why? Because water that appear clean, but it may contain some microorganism, means very small organism. Micro means very small, means the water that appears clean, but it may contain some microorganism and other dissolved impurity. Dissolved impurities means the impurities which can dissolve in water, that are called dissolved impurities. So water might appear clean, but it may contain some microorganisms and other dissolved impurities which can cause waterborne diseases. Okay. Hence, it is advised to purify water before drinking. Okay. And purification can be done by water purifying system or by boiling the water. Means if we boil the water, then it kills harmful germs. And we can use RO and other purifying system, okay, for purifying the water. Question number 4 is, you are a member of the municipal body of your town. Okay. Then make a list of measures that would help your town to ensure the supply of clean water to all its residents. Means you have to make a list, okay, and in that list you have to measure. That means you have to mention that what measures should be taken or what measures would help your town to ensure the supply of clean water. Okay. So answer is, first of all, chlorine tablets should be made available. Okay. Means if we want that clean water supply to our homes, then chlorine tablets should be made available. Okay. It made available every time. Second is proper cleaning of water tank. Means tank should be cleaned properly from time to time. Okay. Other way is the water supply pipes should not come in contact with the sewage pipe, because if it will come in contact with the sewage pipe, then the water can be polluted, the impurities can be added into the water. That's why the water supply pipes should not come in contact with the sewage pipes. Okay, that should be separated from the sewage pipes. So this is our list of measures that would help our town to ensure the supply of clean water to all its residents. Now question number 5 is explain the differences between pure air and polluted air. Means how polluted air is different from pure air. So answer is pure air contains 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen and 1% of other gases like carbon dioxide, methane, ozone and water vapor, etc. Okay, means they are found in our air. These gases are found in our air and the water vapors are also found in small quantities. Okay, and when the air is contaminated or mixed by unwanted substances which have harmful effect on both living and non-living things is said to be polluted air. Means addition of unwanted substances into the air is polluted air, right? So what is pure air? In which 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen and 1% of other gases found. But if unwanted substances added into the air, then it is said to be polluted air. So this is the difference between pure air and polluted air. Now question number 6 is explain circumstances leading to acid rain. How does acid rain affect us? First of all, let us learn that what is acid rain. What is acid rain? The oxides of sulfur and nitrogen react with water vapor to form sulfuric acid and nitric acid. These acids mix with rainwater and make it acidic. This is called acid rain. Now what does it mean? That the oxides of sulfur and nitrogen that are present in air, because the sulfur and nitrogen gas are released from the industries, from the factories, and when these oxides of sulfur and nitrogen react with water vapor, then sulfur react with water vapor to form sulfuric acid and nitrogen react with water vapor to form nitric acid. And when these acids mix with the rainwater, then it make the rain acidic. Mean these sulfuric acid and nitric acid make the rain acidic, and this is called acid rain. Okay. Now, what are the bad effects of acid rain, harmful effects of acid rain? So, the acid rain affects us in the following ways. Effects of acid rain are, first is, it increase corrosion of metals. Means the chemicals which are present in the acid rain corrode the metals. Okay. Second is, it destroys plants and crops by mixing soil acidic. By making soil acidic. It means when the acid rain goes into the soil, then it make the soil acidic. Okay, and due to acidic soil, it destroys plants and crops. So this is also a harmful effect of acid rain. Third is, it removes the basic nutrients such as calcium from the soil. Means when the acid rain mix into the soil, then it remove some of the nutrients like calcium. Okay. So it is also a harmful effect. And last is it causes skin eruptions in human beings. So these are some harmful effects of acid rain. Question number 7 is, which of the following is not a greenhouse gas? Options are carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, methane and nitrogen. So carbon dioxide and methane and sulfur dioxide also a greenhouse gas. So nitrogen is not a greenhouse gas. So option D is correct. Question number 8 is, describe the greenhouse effect in your own words. That what is greenhouse effect? Answer is, the greenhouse effect means warming of Earth's environment. Means this increase the Earth temperature. The greenhouse effect increase the Earth's temperature. But how? When the sun rays enter into the Earth's atmosphere, some of these rays are absorbed by the Earth's surface while some are reflected back into the space. And these reflected rays are trapped by some gases like methane and carbon dioxide and do not allow heat to leave from Earth's surface. Okay, means because of methane gas and carbon dioxide gas, the heat will not go from the Earth's surface. It will remain on the Earth's surface. Okay, because it do not allow the heat to leave from the Earth's surface. And because of this heat, it increase the temperature of the Earth's surface. Okay, means this will warm our planet Earth, and this naturally occurring phenomenon that is responsible for heating of Earth's surface is called greenhouse effect. Okay, this phenomenon is called greenhouse effect. Question number 9 is, prepare a brief speech on global warming. You have to deliver the speech in your class. So this is your work, means prepare a speech on global warming, but no need to write this question in notebook. Okay, do not write this question in notebook. So prepare this speech yourself. Question number 10 is, describe the threat to the beauty of Taj Mahal. Answer is, Taj Mahal has become a matter of concern due to pollutants in air that are discoloring its white marble. Means the air pollutants are responsible for discoloring its white marble. Like acid rain due to increasing air pollution, corroding or discoloring the white marble. Okay. Also the soot particles. Soot particles means black powdery particles that are emitted from the Mathura oil refinery. Is Mathura. Okay. Mathura. Mathura oil refinery located near Agra is leading to the yellowing of the marble. Means there are some oil refineries located near Agra. Okay. By which some black powdery particles emitted, and due to these soot particles it affects the beauty of Taj Mahal. Means it leads to the yellowing of the marble. Okay. It means what? The air pollutants are responsible for discoloring its white marble, and the oil refineries, okay, are also responsible for discoloring its marble. Now question number 11 is, why does the increased level of nutrients in the water affect the survival of aquatic organism? It means you have to write that how the increased level of nutrients affect the aquatic organisms? So answer is, an increase in the level of nutrients in a water body leads to an excessive increase in the population of algae. Means it grow the algae. Okay, due to the excess amount of nutrients, algae grow into the water body. Okay, and when these algae die, they serve as food for decomposers. Okay, or we can say they consume a lot of oxygen. Means a lot of oxygen is utilized in this process and leading to a decrease in the level of oxygen dissolved in the water body. Okay, means they consume most of the oxygen. Okay, and it will decrease the amount of oxygen dissolved in water. Okay, this in turn causes fishes and other aquatic organisms to die because of decrease in amount of oxygen, they can die. Okay. In this way, increased level of nutrients in the water affect the survival of aquatic organisms. Your homework is learn and write all the NCERT questions in your fair notebook. Okay. So this ends for today's lecture. Thank you.